You scared, Neil? After all this winning talk about Arsenal, are you scared?
Well, it sounds like the only thing the lady should be scared of and is scared of is a frying pan. What the hell is she doing watching football? 2 years ago, dude, I'm taking you back to a time when we had a weaker squad and we won 17 of our last 19 games. It doesn't mean that we can't go on a run. Yes, we don't look...
And you still didn't win. So you admit that you're not blowing teams away?
Not consistently, but we don't...
So you admit that you're not playing the best?
We're doing enough. We are going to win this title this season, or we're going to die trying. Which team is more likely to go on a winning run, Arsenal or City? It's Arsenal.
It's still going to be City. You're living in a delusional world where, oh, you know what, we're going to win the league. Don't change your tune. You've been saying we're going to win.
City have just battered Liverpool 3-0. Are they now out of the title race? Is it just a two-horse race for the Premier League crown? Your boy Marky Mark and I are going to break that one down. Plus, Real Madrid are sniffing around a particular Arsenal player. But which one is it, guys? Stay tuned to find out. But first, Marky Mark, Man City have just battered Liverpool into oblivion. Are they now out of the title race?
Chelsea have more chance of winning the title than Liverpool. They've lost 5 out of the 7 games. That game against City, if I was a Liverpool fan, I'll be extremely disappointed. I actually think it's a victim of their own doing, okay? Because when you actually watch the game, I think that's the first time I've ever seen Liverpool in an Arne Slot team just walk around the pitch. They look not just toothless, they look legless. And I don't understand why, because the season's actually only started. Either they're extremely tired, geezer, or they just threw the towel in, because that's what it kind of looked like. But no matter what, they deserve to be smashed 3-0. I put them down to having 0% of winning the Premier League. They're not miles behind and anything can change. I think they're now 8th now. That doesn't sound too far away, considering last week Chelsea were like 8th or 9th, and then they ended the weekend on 3rd. So the gap isn't actually large in terms of the points, but I think that they're so inconsistent. I don't think they have any drive to win the league. It looks like they don't care, or something is wrong. And I think a big majority of that, the reason for that has to be down to Arne Slot. Okay, because he's the manager. He's the one supposed to be motivating the players. He's the one that's positioning all the players and giving them instructions. Something is not right at Liverpool. Okay, and there could be a plethora of reasons. But it was an awful display. It looked like they did not care. What was your take on the game? Why do you think Liverpool are in the title race yourself?
Not just toothless, but legless, Mark, is what you said. What a damning verdict. And I've got to agree, dude. They were legless. I don't know. They look leggy from, and then we're talking about the first half here, Mark. It's not like we're talking 60 minutes into the game. We're talking about 15 minutes into the game. They look leggy. Now, yes, obviously they played 3 games in a week. So the rest of us, that was unforgivable. And they were at home midweek. So I don't know, man. I mean, I would have to say I agree with you. I think they're out of the title race. I do blame Arne Slot because it's his team, his players now. These are the players he's bought. Now, yes, bedding in period, all of this stuff, right? But he had a solid foundation and he's changed a lot in that foundation. And we're going to talk about Florian Wirtz and whatever. In fact, guys, we are also going to talk about, obviously, with this being an Arsenal pod, Arsenal versus City for the potential title. But before we go into that, Mark, you're right. They're 8th. And it doesn't seem that they're that far off in terms of Chelsea were 8th not long ago. Now they're up to 3rd. But here's the difference. Being 8th and looking this shit is a massive problem. And we laugh, right? But it is true. They look terrible. They've got so many problems front to back, as you and I have kept on saying. Now, I'll pull the league table up. They're 8 points off the top of the league. They're 8 points behind Arsenal. But they're also behind City, Chelsea, Sunderland. They're behind Spurs. They're behind, crucially, Man United. And if you tell me right now, if you ask me right now, who looks better, Liverpool or Man United? I've got to say, in many ways, United look better. United look a bit stronger than Liverpool. So it's one thing, Mark, having to chase down. They do right now they do, because Liverpool have lost 5 in 6, Mark. You're telling me that right now United don't look more solid. So I'll throw it back to you in a sec, but basically my point being, the reason why I have them out of the title race is they're not just chasing one team down. If you're chasing one team down, it's an 8-point gap, it's doable. They're having to chase down multiple sides, and they look the weakest of the sides that they need to chase down. Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal. All 3 of them look stronger and have less holes than Liverpool. So you and I are in agreement, they're out of the title challenge. Now, guys, as I said before at the start of this video, if you do enjoy our content and you are enjoying this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. It helps us reach more people and continue delivering the good content that we're doing. Now, Mark, this City side, they just battered Liverpool. And now people are saying, well, City, yes, it's not saying much. But this City side is at full strength bar Rodri, right? They don't have too many injuries. We're saying if Liverpool are out of the title race, are we saying it's a 2-horse race for the title? Or are we saying it's a 3-horse race between Arsenal, City and Chelsea? What are we saying firstly?
Let's talk about Chelsea then, right, Giza? Because Chelsea have the highest XG in the Premier League season so far. They statistically have one of the best defensive records, statistically, in the Premier League so far. This is facts, bro. Okay, we're one of the highest scoring teams in the Premier League to date for this season, Giza. To disregard and dismiss Chelsea that were out of a title race is ludicrous based on what I've just said. Don't forget, we're still missing our star boy, our superstar Cole Palmer. When he comes back and actually starts building a connection, a chemistry with Esteval, our star boy, who's a future superstar. Yo, relax, people. It's a 3-horse race. Do I think that Chelsea are going to win? No. I think there's also going to be a lot of, just like there has been throughout the season, there's still going to be a lot of inconsistency. I still have more faith when Chelsea go toe-to-toe with a bigger team who open up a little bit more, like a Arsenal, like a Man City. It's the smaller teams that come to Chelsea, or we go to them, and they just sit back and have 5 at the back and just play a low block. That's where Chelsea have a problem with. Yeah? But going back to what you said, I do believe it's a 3-horse race. When we talk about Manchester City, I was listening to the Gary Neville podcast after the Liverpool-Man City game, and he was going, this is probably one of the weakest Manchester City squads that Pep has assembled. Okay? And I do tend to agree. But that doesn't mean that you can dismiss Pep Guardiola, arguably the greatest manager in football history. His stats, his trophies, they're second to none at his age. For me, it'll be crazy to dismiss that. I still put my money on Manchester City to win the league, even though they do not have the strongest squad assembled by Pep. And they have who I think is the ultimate goal-scoring machine in Haaland. The issue is, if anything happens to him, what are they going to do? But I can also point to the year before they won the treble, they didn't have any number 9, and they still won the league. So is Haaland really, really that important? I'm sure Pep Guardiola can manage his team even without that, and I still think that they'll still do it.
Yeah,
and get the title.
Let's come back to that, dude. Because if Haaland does miss 10 games, you got to understand that the rest of the City team, the next highest scorer for City, is on 1 goal. In fact, the next highest scorer for City is a Burnley player who scored 2 own goals, and that's still true even after they beat Liverpool's. But I want to pick you up on something, Mark. By the way, shout out to Paddy, our statistician there. Thanks, Pads. He came out with some stats there. One of the stats you shouted out saying Chelsea are in with a shout. you said you got one of the best defenses in the league rather. And I think I want to question that, dude. I don't think you do. And in fact, I'm looking at the table right now. There are 6 teams that have conceded less goals than Chelsea. Arsenal, City, Sunderland, Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace have all conceded less goals than Chelsea, and this is why.
What does less goals mean, though? How many have Chelsea actually conceded, and all those other teams? How much? Is it like 1 goal between them? 2 goals between them? Go on.
Yeah, but it is, right? So Arsenal have conceded 5, City have conceded 8, Chelsea have conceded 11, right? You're conceding a goal a game. Now, that's not terrible, but it gives me enough, and knowing your keeper, and I've always stood by this fact, I think that's going to cause you a problem in the end. Your keeper's going to cause you a problem. I'm not convinced by your defence. I'm really not. Sunderland and Villa and Crystal Palace have conceded definitely a couple of goals less than you. I'm not convinced that you have the defence. Listen, you've got the goal-scoring prowess to be up there, but I'm not convinced that you've got the defence to hang with Arsenal or City.
As I said, I don't think that we're going to. I don't think that. I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I did say I don't think that we're going to be winning the league, but I do think it's a 3-horse race. I do think that Chelsea are very inconsistent, and unless they iron that out and learn, and Maresca learns how to deal with the low blocks, he has to learn how to deal with this new thing of all these long throw-ins. He doesn't know how to manage that. He still has some learning to do, because that's a new thing, which is a big talking point. And so many teams this season are employing that strategy. And why not? It clearly works, right? But teams like Chelsea still don't know how to deal with that. If he learns how to iron that out, he manages his team, he coaches his team properly, I'm not saying we're going to win the league because of the reasons you said. We're still missing a defender. Our goalkeeper, even though, you know, there's still a lot of Chelsea fans that think, oh, you know, he's done a little bit better. I don't think he's good enough. He's not the keeper. You can't win the league with such a trash keeper, right? But we will be up there, right? It will be a 3-horse race. That's what I do think.
Okay, fine. No, fair points, fair points. Guys, let us know if you agree with me or you agree with Mark, or maybe you've got a third option. Let us know in the comments. Now, we need to talk about City and Arsenal. I believe it's a 2-horse race, but we mentioned Rodri. Before we go on to Arsenal, Rodri, former Ballon d'Or winner, since he won the Ballon d'Or, has pretty much been injured the whole time. When he comes back, will he come back the same, Mark?
It's so hard. It's actually impossible to say whether Rodri, because he's now over 30, right? His injury took him out for the entirety of the season. He already came back this season and played like a couple of games, then got injured again. I think the safe thing to do, if you're Pep Guardiola, is not to rely on him, right? You stop pinning your hopes on him. You've got a squad. You've got to deal with the squad that you have and manage them accordingly. If Rodri comes back and he builds up his fitness, then look at it as a bonus. If he comes back 80% of his best, he'll still slot into the first team. And he'll still do an extremely good job. It's still Rodri. It's still a Ballon d'Or winner like 2 years ago. But as we know, and big injury like that, players do not come back the same. Look at Eden Hazard. He had that one big injury when we went down to Real Madrid. And if you watch his interviews afterwards when he retired, he was like, I had but one big injury. Nothing was the same. I couldn't. I lost the pace. Everything hurt when I was running. I just couldn't do it. I just had to sit there and get paid $500,000 every single week and then retire. And then that was it. I mean, I would have done the same, to be fair. Of course, everyone would have done the same. But the whole point of me saying that, a big injury, you can come back, but you cannot be the same. And he got injured again. That's very concerning. Don't depend on Rodri. Manage the team that you've got so far and then see how the season unfolds.
Yep, I agree. I think that's fair. Like you said, for all the points that you just made there. I mean, I don't think we'll see the same Rodri for what it's worth. Now, there's a couple of points that we need to cover off, Mark, before we wrap this podcast up. And we need to talk about Arsenal. Now, there's a lot of... Yeah.
Before you do, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of talk, okay? I was watching the overlap. There's a lot of talk now that Arsenal are only 4 points ahead of Manchester City. And it panned to one of the Arsenal supporters. It was a lady, and she was going, and Jamie Carragher asked her, "Are you scared?" And she was like, "You know what? I'm not even going to lie. I'm scared. I'm scared that they're going to be toe-to-toe with us. I'm scared that they could potentially nab the Premier League trophy under our noses. And it's fully possible." That's from her own words. Do you agree with that? Are you scared, Neil? After all this winning talk about Arsenal, are you scared?
Well, it sounds like the only thing the lady should be scared of and is scared of is a frying pan. What the hell is she doing watching football? Let's be honest, right? Just because some lady got interviewed about something about football and, oh, I'm scared City going to, oh, I'm scared this, I'm scared that. That is why you've got no business watching football, love. No offence. Now, you're asking me, am I scared? No, I'm not scared. And I'll tell you why I'm not scared. I actually am confident, and I'm still confident. People talk about Arsenal being bottlers, this and that, whatever. The only time Arsenal have led a title race and then bottled it was the 2023 season. That season, we led, City chased us down, they battered us at the Emirates 4-1, and the rest is history. We then followed it up with a season where we chased City and took it all the way down to the final day. That showed a level of maturity going up. Now, the reason why I'm not scared is that 2023 season where everyone says Arsenal bottled it. Saka was 21. Saliba was 21. We were relying on these guys in particular. Saliba, when he got injured and everything fell apart. But we were reliant on a couple of 21-year-olds, not too dissimilar to where Chelsea are right now, reliant on real talent. If you're good enough, you're old enough. But what has happened over the last 3 years of finishing second is we've got tougher. We've become mentally tougher. We've matured as a team. We're physically stronger. We're battle hardened. We've got scars, Mark, but those scars are battle scars. And I reckon now we look primed to win this title. Yes, City are 4 points behind us, but I've seen City this season when they've had just a couple of injuries, not even Haaland, couple of injuries, got done by Spurs, followed it up with another back-to-back loss against Brighton, didn't even score against Aston Villa. This is what happens when City have a couple of injuries. Arsenal have 7 injuries at the moment, and they're all going to be, most of them are going to be coming back post the international break. And I'm actually still very confident, even more confident. I'm more bullish than this lady that Jamie Carragher interviewed. And maybe she's scarred and maybe she's carrying the mental scars from previous seasons. But when you look at our current squad, Mark, with the leaders we've got in this squad, I don't see bottlers. I see guys like Gabriel that step up. I see guys like Declan Rice that are ready, that are motivating and rallying the team. I see Saka that is 3 years older than that season where we first finished second and got beaten up by City, bent over by City. I see a team now that has gone through a very tough start. And we've got another tough run coming up, but I see a team very capable, and I see a team that is ready to fight for each other and fight every inch, tooth and nail for this title. Mark, we are going to win this title this season, or we're going to die trying.
I hear you. I really hope you don't do it, man. After all this confident talk from Arsenal fans, not just from yourself, I would love to level you guys down and bring you down to earth. I don't think you'll do it. And you know what? All your injuries that you have had so far, I don't think any of them are, apart from Odegaard, of actual first team players. Okay, you've got Gyökeres. All right, he's the first. I think
Saka.
If anything happens to Deckers, anything happens to Deckers, you're not going to win. If anything happens to Gabriel, you're not going to win.
Dude, you keep saying
because
this.
It's true.
Missed a couple
because
of games.
It's true.
You're ignoring. Okay, Odegaard, Gyökeres, Saka, Saliba, all 4 have been injured this season, and they've missed more than 1 game.
But they're not
Saka's
been playing last couple of games.
Yes, but he was injured before that. You're saying you've only had 1 injury to a first team player. It's not true, is it?
I never said that. I said you've got a bunch of injuries, and apart from Odegaard, okay, who will be the only player that would actually kind of miss. And would you really miss him? Last season, you'll say he was injured. Yeah. He was hot.
You're clutching here, Mark. You're clutching. You're clutching on you. You feel it, can't you? You're clutching.
No, bruv. Odegaard is crap, bro. Odegaard is crap. Last couple of seasons, he's been pretty shit for you. Yeah, and you're saying, he didn't even play last season. If he didn't even play last season, why is everyone going? Last season he was trash.
Watching you,
bro.
There's people
He's had a couple of good games, and you're like, oh, you know what? He's so important for us,
Mark,
bro. Relax. He ain't that great. Odegaard is so
he's been
overrated.
Crap for a couple of seasons. You're getting
he
confused.
has been crap for a couple of seasons. What's he done? What did he do last season?
That's got to be a joke.
Nothing. He was absolutely trash last season.
What's a couple of seasons? 2 seasons. What are you talking about?
Okay, fine. A couple of seasons.
A couple of seasons.
There's
millions and millions of people
Did he take you to the title 2 years
Mark.
ago? No. Yeah, they can fucking watch it, bro. You don't know the fact that I'm telling you, you're fucking overrated. That's what it is, bro. You got a lot more confidence when you shouldn't have. You haven't won anything for like fucking 25 years. You finished second the last 3-4 seasons, and you bottled it.
Tell me why we shouldn't be confident. You're talking about history here, but tell me why. Looking at this squad, tell me why you wouldn't.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'll tell you why. Firstly, I don't think that you're actually blowing any teams away. Right? Do you think that you're blowing teams away so far this season? Are you that confident you're playing that well?
Yeah.
Bro, you're playing average. You're playing average.
And we're playing average. And,
for the quality of players that you've got, you're playing average.
We're playing average.
You're top because the rest of the other teams are so inconsistent. This is facts.
But who
are
are
the other teams inconsistent? Yes or no?
Exactly.
Are all the other teams inconsistent? Yes or no?
Yes, they are.
And that's the reason why you're up. You're not blowing any teams away, Geezer. You're relying majority on your set pieces.
Who are we up against, though? You're talking about, you should be better, but we've only got to be better than everyone else. So if everyone else is inconsistent, we've still just got to be better than them. We ain't got to be better than the 04-05 Chelsea side. We haven't got to concede just 15 goals. We haven't got to be better than the Centurions. We haven't got to be better than the Chelsea team under Antonio Conte, underrated champion in my opinion. We've just got to be better than our competition this season. And how do you know? So far, we have been.
Yeah, so far. How can you be so confident so far? You're only 2 months into the league.
Let me ask you a question, Mark. What have you seen from this City side this season, from this Liverpool side this season, that makes you confident that they can go on a run? Because you've seen you're talking about Arsenal not being very good. Do you think City have been that good? They've lost 3 games. They've lost back-to-back games. Do you think they've been good?
No, I don't. As I said, I think all the other teams have been inconsistent, but it doesn't mean that they can't string a run of games. I think
it doesn't mean that we can't, dude. It doesn't mean that we can't, dude. 2 years ago, dude, I'm taking you back to a time when we had a weaker squad and we won 17 of our last 19 games. It doesn't mean that we can't go on a run. Yes, we don't look.
And
we're not blowing teams away. Hey.
Okay, so you admit that you're not blowing teams away.
Not consistently, but we don't.
So you admit that you're not playing the best.
We're doing enough.
You're doing enough.
Listen, dude, we're not 10 out of 10 every week.
There's still so much time left in the season. You're so bullish about you winning the league, and it's only November.
I'm confident.
It's a little bit silly to me.
I'm confident. There's nothing wrong with, from what I've seen, being confident about Arsenal winning the league. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, am I delusional? No, I don't think I'm being delusional. I'm not sitting here saying we're going to win the title by February. And I've said that in tongue in cheek, right? But I think it's going to be a title race. I think it's going to be between Arsenal and City. But I think this season will nab them. I'm not convinced that City won't drop more points than us. I think they will drop more points than us. Guys, let us know if you agree with us and what your thoughts are as well. Because I'm sure I'm going to cop it as well here, Mark. I'm sure there's a lot of people in your boat that are going to be saying the same thing. But this City side, Mark, is not convincing me that they're going to go on a run. If you tell me right now, which team is more likely to go on a winning run, Arsenal or City? It's Arsenal. I really believe that. They've both gone on winning runs, by the way, this season. And I think we're more likely
For me,
to go
it's
on another
not.
one. But
I
who knows?
disagree. I think it's going. I think it's going to be City. I think that they're going to kick into gear, and you're not. That's what I think is going to happen, and that's what I said right from the beginning. Even after all this talk, every week it's still going to be City. That's still who I think that is going to win the title. Yeah, let's see, bro. I can't wait to bring you back down to earth.
I'm still on Earth. You don't need to worry. I'm still on Earth. I'm just.
No, you're not. You're living in La La Land. You're living in delusional world where, what we're going to
win the title this year. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. I guess we'll see.
No. Don't change your tune. You've been saying we're going to win.
Yeah, I am saying it. I am saying it. We'll see if I'm in La La Land. I don't believe I am. I believe we'll win the title. I believe it's going to be tough. I believe City will push us, but I believe we will do it. That is my belief. Let's see. Mark, before we wrap this pod up, I said at the start of this podcast that there is some sniffing going around the Arsenal squad, and it's coming from Real Madrid. It is rumoured that Real Madrid are keeping a very, very close eye on a certain Declan Rice. Have you heard this rumour?
Of course I have. Yes.
What do you think about it? Real Madrid keeping tabs on Declan Rice. Answer me two things. Firstly, do you believe it to be true? And can you see Declan Rice in a white shirt next season? And if so, we're going to walk through that midfield, and what would that midfield look like? But firstly, do you believe it?
Of course I believe it. Everyone and their mum is saying Declan Rice is the best all-round action-packed midfielder in the Premier League. Right? The Premier League is the strongest league in the world. Which means if he can hack it and is the best player here, it means the likelihood of being the best player in any other country is extremely high. If I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be too fussed if, Barcelona or Bayern Munich or PSG were interested in my player, right? But there's a lure. There's an attractiveness about playing in the white shirts, playing for the biggest club in history, the most successful club in football history. You are going to go down in the history books as a fucking titan if you go down to Real Madrid, and especially if you perform there. There is no bigger club than Real Madrid, geezer. Just saying it like that.
100%.
It's understandable that they want Declan Rice. And you know what? Him with Bellingham, Tchouaméni, I don't think will have a starting slot. I think actually if Deckers goes there, he would take Tchouaméni's first team spot, and that would be extremely dangerous. They would be extremely dangerous. Yep.
How do they line up then next season? By the way, I agree with you. There is a lure. It's Real Madrid. If they come calling, mate, I mean, listen, biggest club in the world, isn't there? No one's competing with them. As much as Liverpool like to make out like they think they can compete with Real Madrid, we'll give it a rest. Can't even win a game, mugs. I would have to say that midfield, I agree with you. Rice walks into it and he takes Tchouaméni's side. How do they line up then? You got him, you got Jude, you got is it Valverde? I mean, it's a conundrum if he does go to Real Madrid, right? How do you think they would line up?
I'm a fan of Valverde. I'm a massive fan. They say he's like the Spanish Gerrard. I wouldn't go that far. I definitely wouldn't go that far. But that's not to take anything away from Valverde. He is an all-action-packed midfielder. Some of the goals he scored, he's so versatile. Who else have they got in the midfield? I think I've got a memory blank.
It will be Valverde, Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni's there, and then you've also they've got players like that Thiago Pina. They got Arda Güler as well.
Yeah.
Arda Güler. And they've also they've got Camavinga. What are we talking about? They've got Camavinga as well, right? Who can you'll play in the middle, right?
For me, if you're playing all those players, like for me, my one, I would actually have Deckers at the base. Yeah,
I would in Spain as well.
The base. I would have him at the base. He can play anywhere in the midfield. I get that. But then to accommodate, I would have Arda Güler. I would also have Jude Bellingham. That would be my 3 destroyers.
That's mad. You know, the other way you could go around as well, you can have Tchouaméni and you can play Jude and Rice as 2/8s. They both like getting forwards. They both like getting forward. They both like popping up with goals. Imagine not having to deal with just one of them, but imagine having to deal with both Jude and Declan. That is,
they're both similar players, though. They are very similar players, though. I would say that. But Jude is also an action-packed. He loves to go back, defend. He loves to attack. So that's what I'm saying. I do remember the last couple of podcasts I was saying, oh, yeah, who would you rather have? I think I would rather have Bellingham instead of Rice if they were playing in that position. And that's because they're very similar. So to accommodate both, I would play Deckers at the 6. And I would have Arda Güler, or you can have Valverde if he's not filling in the right spot and Nacho's frigging injured or something like that. Yeah, I'll play Valverde. They could play Tchouaméni, Camavinga. They've got some wicked players, but I do believe Deckers will slot right in. And I do believe if Real Madrid are serious, I will be a little bit concerned, especially if Arsenal do not win the league, because if they do not win the league, I will reckon Declan Rice will go, what have I done? Why did I join this bottle of shit club? I'm going to go to Real Madrid.
All right.
And I don't blame him. So let's see. There you have it.
Guys, let's see. We might, imagine Declan Rice in the Los Blancos, the white shirt, the white famous shirt of Real Madrid. What would that look like? I'll tell you what, it would look scary for any opposition. It would look scary. Plus, if you agree with us, are we in a 2-horse race? Are we in a 3-horse race? Are Liverpool out of the title race now that they've just been bent over by Man City? Let us know in the comments, because Mark and I will respond to each and every single one of them. Mark, time to land the plane, my friend.
I'm going to land it so quick you don't even know what's happening. Click this video right here and we'll see you lot there. Thank you, guys.